Okay, this is CAD Methods. This is Lab 5.1, Part 2, Exercise 10-5. And we are going to put some hatch on this building. Now, I'm not sure the file that you have may or may not be the same, but one of the first things I want you to do is take a look over here. If you look over here, there's a fence post here that is different, and we're going to call it fence 2. Go up to my layers, and I'm going to freeze it and turn that off for later. Now there's a little gap. I just want you to take that gap, and you can use the grips and connect them. And then we'll get started. So I'm going to do all the part 2s here in one lab. See here, this one turned off as well. So that's okay. So what we're going to do, it says we want to create a hatch and then match the properties. So hatch is so when I click on a hatch, you can see like it's all one piece. You get all these brick patterns in just one piece. So it lets us apply a pattern and fill an area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type hatch, and I'm just going to select these two areas here and hit enter. And you can see it's a filled area. And you can see since I did it in one piece, those two, even though there's a gap in them right there, those two are one single hatch pattern. But you can see that they're solid. So what I want to do is I'm going to come to my home tab, my properties, and pick properties and pick the match properties. I'm going to click the source, which is going to be the brick, and I'm going to pick this solid hatch pattern, and I'm going to have the brick pattern applied to both sides. You can see the brick pattern there. So then, that's exercise 5-10. Now, I'm going to go over to page 397, exercise 10-6. And we're going to apply a gradient to the windows. So it gives you some numbers, some colors to use, and how to set it up. What I'm going to do, pan over here, I'm going to go hatch. Now, nothing really happened. I could start picking, but what I want to do down here, I get some choices. And I'm going to pick the settings. You can either do T-enter or just click the word. And we're going to, rather than apply a hatch pattern, we're going to apply a gradient. So gradient, it's right here. Rather than a hatch, we're going to pick a gradient. And it's going to be two color, and it's going to go from black to white. And you can see it's darker on top and on the bottom. So you can pick either one. So I'm going to then do a pick point. And I'm just going to pick my windows and say enter. And I've applied a gradient pattern to my windows. And then you could look and pick the specific colors as required, but that will then finish exercise 10-6. Now, 10-7. 10-7 wants us to open up the hatch editor and select ANSI 37 and change a hatch pattern. So I'm going to do this in just like this. So if you don't have this properties window, this panel here open, and if your AutoCAD looks like this, you really just type properties. Most people leave this open all the time because what it allows us to do is I can just select my hatch pattern, and this will show me all the information here about my hatch pattern. Okay, so right here you can see that's brick, and I can select this ANSI 37 and say OK. Now if I zoom in here, you can see that's no longer brick, that it's a fence pattern. So let me do that again. Select my hatch pattern, go over here to the properties, and select ANSI 37, and I'll have my fence pattern here. I could have done the match properties like it says. You can go back and do that if you need to. And that completes 10-7. 10-8. wants to show us how to trim a fence. So if I zoom out, zoom extents, oops, zoom extents, you can see there's kind of there's a missing fence post here because I have it frozen. And that fills in that spot. But over here, you can see my hatch pattern goes through my fence. So I'm going to trim, hit enter, click the fence post, trim my line if need be, or trim, I can trim my hatch pattern. Okay, and then that's 10-8. Now, 10-9. 10-9 gets a little complicated. They want us to open up the design center. So I'm going to type add center in AutoCAD. Zoom extents, we're going to be applying to this building, add center. And I was already there, so you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here like this. And I'm in the design center, and it wants us to navigate to this path. So just like your regular file explorer, you're going to C:, program files, Autodesk, drag this over a little, and then it says AutoCAD 2015, but you might have 15, 16, maybe even 17 today. So 2016, and then you're going to get stuck. It's like, I don't know where that is. User data cache. It's like, I don't see user data cache. So keep looking for it, and if you can find it, good for you. If you can't, this is how you're going to find it. So the first thing you're going to do, because you don't see user data, is we don't really know where that's at. So I'm going to come up here to search, and I'm going to change this from drawings to hatch patterns. So I want to look for hatch patterns. And then in the files, you're just going to search for star.pat, and then search now. And it'll go through and look for the hatch patterns. And it's going to search for as many things as it can find, but what I need are these two files right here. So I'm just going to tell it to stop. And I'm just going to, let's say, double click on the AutoCAD PAT because that's what it asks for. So first thing it's going to say, it's going to show you all the hatch patterns in the acad.pat file. And it wants you to look for the ARBRELM file. So I'm going to look through there, and there it is. It's a brick pattern. AR. So it's a style of brick. So that's how you find, you may have custom hatch patterns. You may want to add hatch patterns that you use on a regular basis to AutoCAD, whatever. But you can add things to the design center, or you can use things in the design center. But this is where the design center is. So I'm going to now, what I want to do is I want to take that brick pattern and apply it to this building. So I have it selected, and I'm going to put it on here. So then when I hit enter, it applies that brick pattern. I zoom in, you can see that brick pattern applied to my drawing. So I'm going to close the design center, and it gives me some other specifications like a scale pattern of 2 and hatch pattern scale of 2. So I can select it and go in here, scale pattern 2, hit enter. You can see that it doubled the size of my brick. And it looks like that's pretty good. You can double check the island detection. You can double check whatever it is that you need. Hatch, let's see. So it's on my fence layer. That's probably not correct. So I'm going to select it and put it on my brick layer. And when I zoom out, you can see that you've completed the fence hatch, the brick hatch, the gradient hatch. And then that's exercise 10-9, Lab 5.1 Part 2.